Foxhole in, I guess, right?
Well,
or that was the Foxhole one.
That was the Foxhole one.
This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America.
Hello. I'll make sure I don't have any. Oh, hello guys. This is Tom, W5KUB, and you're watching Amateur Radio Roundtable on W5KUB.com. Today is March the 24th, so the month is moving right along there. A lot of things going on tonight. We just got notified from YouTube. YouTube sent out a note. They've got some issues tonight. They're cutting the bandwidth back on everybody, and nobody's doing HD tonight, unless maybe you can control it yourself. So we're transmitting an HD signal tonight, but you might see they're putting us to standard definition. So on your player, if you go down to the bottom right corner of your player, you can click on the little wheel down there and you can bump it up to like 720p or something high, and you'll probably get a better picture. So they're doing that intentionally. We're missing Katie tonight. We're missing 3 people tonight. Not sure what happened with everybody. We're missing Katie tonight. We're missing Dave Kassler. And Bill Brown, I think, was going to be on with us tonight. He may join later. I don't know. But Bill Brown's going to be on, and we'll talk about some interesting balloon stuff coming up here. If you're out there listening on International Shortwave Station, WBCQ, on 5130, we welcome you. This is a ham radio program. If you're interested in ham radio, it's a great hobby, and we're going to be talking about some interesting things tonight. Since all of our remote people aren't here, we're probably going to just kind of move from topic to topic, just whatever comes up. We may even open the phone lines a little later. If you have internet access where you are, you can watch the show. If you just go to W5KUB.com, W5KUB.com, you can actually watch the show there. You can log into the chat room and join us and talk to us direct in the chat room. Also, if you're listening on shortwave, send us an email to tom@W5KUB.com and tell us where you are and how you're hearing the show, and we'll give us a signal report there. All right. Hey, do we have any new people in the chat room tonight? Any new people that joined the show tonight? We had a great net tonight on 40 meters. We had about 30 or 40 check-ins. A lot of new people. And okay, I'm hearing echo. Oh, I bet that fixed the echo right there. All right. One of the mixer channels was on that feeds back some of the station audio to our remotes was turned up, so yeah, we had an echo. It should be gone now. Yep, should be gone.
Yes.
Thanks
the echo is gone.
Thanks for telling me there. So all that's going on tonight. So everybody is staying at home, kind of locked up in your house, and that's causing a real strain on YouTube. Everybody's watching YouTube tonight, so YouTube is actually feeling the pressure and making adjustments tonight. We had a little trouble getting the show on. I had to re-authenticate and everything to get on the show tonight, but we got there. Hey, we got Glen Popiel with us tonight. Let me bring Glen in. I'll just try to do a split screen here. See if I can bring Glen in here. Hey, Glen, there you are, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, man.
All right.
Trying to lay low.
Well, that's good, man. Now, hey, I asked a question a minute ago. Was there anybody new in the chat room? And I didn't read the chat room, so I don't know if anybody new is here or not. Somebody in the chat room, tell me if anybody new is here. We'd like to welcome them. All right.
Yeah,
So
I think they mentions, but I can scroll back here, but
yeah. Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
catch it either.
All right. Well,
But
I guess we're all doing pretty good. We're surviving, and we're getting the essentials we need to make it here. Um, I think it's going to be maybe a few more weeks, but I think things are going to start getting a little easier for everybody, and just hope for the best here. The country's gone through some things worse than this, so we'll just we'll wear it out. We'll just work through it here and try to be good home people for a while.
well, yeah, I think it's also, it's kind of like I was saying in the pre-show. I feel like we are an entire classroom that there are two people that won't follow the rules, so the entire class is having to suffer from this because there are people, a lot of people, still going to work and going out and doing their normal stuff. And I'm like, your job is not essential. The schools are closed. Stay home. And they continue to go in, and I'm like, the longer you guys do this, the longer this whole mess is going to last.
Yeah, we're gonna make it.
So,
Hey.
we'll make it. It's just, and it's no skin off my back. The longer I stay home, the more work I get done. So, I'm fine.
Yeah, well, that's good. Hey, let me just show you a few things here. Hey, guys, nuts and bolts. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the nuts and bolts. You've probably seen these at Hamfest and different places advertised online. It's a magazine. This thing has been out, they've been printing this magazine for about 41 years now. And I can remember 40 years ago picking this magazine. I think back then it was probably black and white. It wasn't, the shiny paper like it's in here today. Everything changed after about 40 years. And mostly it was parts and things like that you could get, but the magazine's really changed a lot, and they still have this out.
Yeah,
Well,
I've been getting it about
okay.
2 or 3 years now.
All right. So I need to turn Glen's audio up a little. I will. Okay. So anyway, nuts and bolts, and guess what? Amateur Radio Roundtable is going to be in every issue of Nuts and Bolts. So if you get this magazine, you're going to see us in there. Also, hey, if you take CQ and you flip through CQ, you're going to see we've got like I think a 1/3 page ad in CQ every month for the shows. So it's pretty neat that we're in some of the magazines that hams get. This is the great magazine, by the way. They've got a lot of neat deals in here. This one has a story of the transistor. It's a real interesting story how the transistor was invented, and man, that thing has changed the world. But there's also other projects in here. One project in here, a neat little project, is turn your computer sound card into a scope. That's kind of neat, and they show you how to do it in here.
Yeah.
They've got a headphone amplifier in here, a 4-position HF antenna switch, which is PC control. And I know, Glenn, you're doing some Arduino stuff with controlled, control, right?
I think it was my second book that I did the remote control antenna switch.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that story of the transistor was really kind of cool. I enjoyed reading that.
Okay, so for people that maybe missed the last show, hey guys, if you get bored with me talking about balloons, just go get you a ham sandwich or something, turn the TV on. We're going to talk a little about our balloon launches. A lot of people are real excited about that. We're excited about it. We're going to be launching, hopefully in the next 4 or 5 days, another balloon, and we're going big time again. This is not a party balloon. This is not a cheap $3 party balloon. And by the way, our first party balloon went all the way to Japan and crashed in a storm. But this balloon has a better chance of making multiple revolutions around the Earth. It's called the SBS-13, and we've got it here. We're going to be launching it. Let's see. I've got a picture of the SBS-13 somewhere here that I'll show you. What is this right here? No, that's not it. That's not it. There it is right there. Okay. There's the SBS-13 balloon right there. It's about 7.5 feet long, and it's about, when it's blown up, it's about 3 feet in diameter or something like that. and it's a high pressure ballooning, and if we do it correctly, measure down to the specific gram, we should be able to fly that thing for months and months and months. So that's what we're going to do. Basically, that's what it looks like as it goes up. As you know, we don't fill the balloons up. We only put about 7 or 8 grams of lift in it because the gas will expand when it's up there. Our friends in Poland, rescued the balloon that we sent over from Memphis. It made it all the way to Poland. And we think we're going to call it it stopped for gas, that's all. They did have to climb a tree, about a 60-foot tree to get it, but they got it down, and it's going to be get some gas, and it's going to head back on its journey back to the United States. We don't know when that's going to happen yet because the virus has got everything shut down in Europe. I mean, it's getting now in certain countries, like Romania, where they're passing a law. If you're caught out on the street now, 15 years in prison. That's how tough it is over there. And some of the other places are 2 years imprisonment to be caught out doing stuff like this. So the guys have the tracker recovered, and they'll be sending it on its way sometime soon. In the meantime, we're gonna fire up our SBS-13 and try to get that thing launched here, hopefully by this weekend, and we're going to have some fun with it. Let's see. Told you about.
For those in the chat room, the reason why he's not launching these things much quicker, since even before Christmas, it has either been windy, rainy, both, or just horrible weather just about every day so far this year.
Yeah, that's true. The weather's bad. We couldn't launch probably the next couple of days anyway, just because of the weather. But we're going to be launching one of Bill Brown's trackers. This is his Sky Tracker. Well, that's not it. Here's the Sky Tracker. This is we should have this tomorrow. Now that's a little stand it's on. Don't confuse it. So it's just the tracker is a little board in the center with two solar panels. So we'll be building up the 20-meter antenna to go on that, and then we'll attach that to our SBS balloon, and it'll look like this configuration right here. And we'll be hopefully by Saturday we'll be launching that. It's going to report back its altitude, speed, direction, all that. It's going to report back every 10 minutes. And let me see. I'm going to bring up a website here. That's not good. Update. I don't want to do that.
Tom, didn't he come up with an even smaller version of that tracker?
Well, no. 2 trackers ago, we built this tracker right here, and this is Edward YO3 ICT in Romania, and he gave me all the information. I actually had the boards made. I had a company make the boards, and we built that thing, and as you guys know, it's really, really small parts. I got more parts in the mail today to try to construct another one. That entire tracker weighs 1.5 grams. That's less than a penny. That's less than a U.S. penny, but it's very difficult to build, and you have to build it under a microscope, and it's pretty tough build. So there it is. There it is, completed. I'm holding it in my hand. It's got 6 solar cells on it. That's the one we launched a couple weeks ago, and we lost it somewhere around England, and I guess it probably went down in the ocean. I'm going to pull up a site here for you, just real quick, and show you.
Yeah. Now, while you're doing that, you showed one that he had made it a double-sided board with a break-off for the programming connector that looked smaller than even that one.
Yeah, and I had that here. I think we showed it last week. There again, there's that little tracker we flew with the solar cells. Is only 3.9 grams, and of course that's what the board looks like right there. And then his board. Oh, here it is. Here's his new one. I'm not even going to attempt to build it The new one is 1/2 the size as the other one.
That's what I was thinking.
One
yeah.
half the size, and with a little break off. That's a little programming stem that's sticking out there. You program it and then you break that off.
Right.
I'm going to bring up a site here for you. And
Also,
show you
while
something.
while this they just announced this in the chat room about Huntsville. Mark
Yeah.
N4BCD is there, and Huntsville is still a go.
All right, very good. We got some bad information in the chat room earlier that it was canceled, and I thought that was a little early to hear that. So Huntsville is still a go. We may make it. Hey, let me show you how easy it's going to be to track the balloons here once we get it launched. If you go to W5KUB.com, and if you will click on the balloon up in the, if you see my mouse, you see up at the top there's a balloon in the menu. If you click on that, you'll get this screen. And I built this up for this balloon. On the right side is going to be basically the configuration of the balloon. That's what the balloon looks like right there when it's laid out with no gas in it. Let's see. Well, you know what? That's the wrong deal. Let me see if I can refresh. Something crazy is going on. Something crazy is really, really going on here tonight. So I'm going to go back to W5KUB.com. We're going to come up on our page, the one where you're watching right now, and I'm going to click on balloon. And we've got the issues. Houston, we have problems, man. I don't know what happened here. Don't know what happened. Let me try this. 3-2. Maybe that'll get it. All right, that brought it up. I'll fix that link. I'll fix that link. But here's where you go. If you click on the balloon up there, it'll take you to this page. Now we will reset the timer here on the left. We'll reset the timer when we launch, so we'll know how long it's been in the air. And there on the left, there's a description about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and so forth. And then on the right, this is an SBS 13 balloon. You can see my friend Ed Harrison there and me, and we're weighing it on a gram scale. And we've got to put an exact amount of hydrogen in there, and that's pretty close to the exact amount. You can see it's not filled up very much. But on the buttons in the center, I've got tracking buttons in the center. If you'll click on these buttons, it will bring you up. I just clicked on that button. It'll bring you up the APRS map, and it will show you right there where the balloon is. Now, this balloon right now is near Huntsville, Alabama. That's where we were testing. Bill Brown tested it, so it's showing that position right there. And if you click on the balloon, if you click on it, it'll show you the altitude and all other information there. So that site is going to make it real easy for anyone to track the balloon and follow it as it's up. Okay, let me get back down here with Glen there. There we go. So that's where we are on our balloon launches. If we get some good weather, we're gonna get another one off, and then probably in a few months, we hope that the Dash 13 balloon continues on its way to the United States. Well, Glen,
I still think it was cool that those guys found it for you.
Yeah, and if you didn't tune in last week, I got a picture of the guys that found it. Let's see, where are they? Somewhere in here. I got way too many pictures out here. Well, maybe I don't have it, but that's okay. That's okay. Well, Glen, what you been doing anything interesting besides just staying home? Are they keeping you busy?
Well, like I say, today they kept me busy. On my little rant about essential versus non-essential people, but I have been getting some stuff done. Of course, I'm preparing to start on the next Arduino book for ARRL, but I also got sidetracked. This is a project that I have been working on for almost 2 years now. I bought a new/newer used Jeep about 2 years ago. And one of the first things I do is I replace the radio. I'm just
Yeah.
not a fan of those factory radios. And one of the things I did with my other car was I mounted my Yaesu 8800 2-meter 440 rig in the dash underneath the FM radio. And I finally got around to doing that with the Jeep. And I've had all the stuff for literally 2 years. Then, of course, the surgery last year knocked me out of the loop for about 6 months. And then, like I've been saying in the chat room, we have had literally, I think they said on the news today, 54 days of rain
Yeah.
so far this year. And there's been 80 days. And those other 26 days have been too cold to be outside. I mean, we've only had
Yeah.
like 3 days we could be outside in the past since Christmas. So I finally got around to getting the radio and got the stereo replaced in the Jeep, and I started to mount my 2-meter rig in the dash as well. And it's a little tricky on how you do it because they don't make dash mounts for this stuff. So you have to make your own. And Andy, I got a 2016 Jeep Patriot. And it's real easy to pull the radio and stuff out, but you have to make your own mount and everything. And what I've got right here, and hopefully I have some pictures once I can start sharing my screen, but I have too much work-related stuff on the computer I can't close right now. But this is my stereo radio and the 2-meter 440 rig. And the way I built the mounting bracket is with a 2x4. You mount the control head to the 2x4, and then it just slips and clicks on there. And then you can put it all together. And then when you get it all finished up, I cut this out of some of the press board, and I'm in the process of painting and sanding and sealing it. And when that's all said and done, that will be a mask for the radio.
That'll make it nice.
So that it all fits in the dash and looks like it belonged there.
Well, hey,
So that's my spring project.
let me ask you a question. Does your Jeep have airbags in it?
Yes.
Okay, I would assume it would. You know, whenever I put radios in new cars and stuff, I'm always worried about the first time I key up, man. You know, maybe you key up and you just kind of explode an airbag on you, man. You know, I mean, RF getting into these computers.
I've never worried about that.
Boy, I have. That first key up is a real test, man.
Yeah. And Andy in the chat room, I put the bulk of the radio under the seat as well, and I just extend the remote control head of the radio up into the dash and use that little extender cable that it comes with.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I tell you what, guys.
That's been my project for a while.
We're about 30 minutes in the show. Everybody just stand by a minute. We're going to come back. We're going to open the phone lines here in just a few minutes, and we'll just talk about anything and everything. So everybody just hang with us. We'll be right back.
And its optional multifunction backpack. The IC705 is your perfect QRP companion that has base station features and functionality at the tip of your fingers. It's a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs in at just over 2 pounds. It has RF direct sampling for most of the HF band and IF sampling for frequencies above 25 megahertz. It also has a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen with a live band scope and waterfall. Other features include 5 watts with the BP272, 10 watts with 13.8 volts DC. It also has sideband CW AM FM as well as full D-Star functionality. It has a micro USB connector and Bluetooth capability, integrated GPS with antenna and a GPS logger. It has a micro SD card slot. The speaker microphone comes standard, and it supports QRP operations. The perfect accessory for the IC705 is the optional backpack. the LC192, with a special compartment for your IC705, and it has room for accessories for soda, activations, or just a day in the park. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
All right, and we're back. And Glenn, do you have a story to tell us?
Yeah. While I'm installing this in the car, I'm actually having to do it in between rain showers and stuff. So I went outside and pulled the dash and got the FM stereo radio mounted and fit and set and everything, and made sure the cables were all working. And then I started, measuring and doing the cutting and stuff for the mount. And the next day I went out to the car to try to unlock it to get into it, and the remote wouldn't unlock the door. So I'm thinking, okay, my remote's got bad batteries. So I went up to the car and used the key to get in, and everything was just dead. So my first thought is, okay, I've opened the dash, I've played with the wiring inside here. Have I shorted something or triggered some kind of anti-theft device or something? Because the thing was just totally dead. Nothing. And after a while, I'm like, let's tell you what, I always have a spare battery because of the amount of driving I do. And with today's modern batteries, it seems like when they die, it's not like the old days where you could jump them and have a little bit of a charge to get somewhere. These things just flat out die, and they're useless. And I normally have a spare battery in the car just because of that, and I've had to use it a time or two. So I went to put my spare battery in, and lo and behold, it was the wrong type. The positive and negative connections were on the wrong sides of the battery.
Uh-oh.
I was able to patch it in enough that I could move the Jeep out of the way so I can get the other car and go to the auto shop and get a battery. And turns out that just in that span of one day, that battery had completely died, and it wasn't anything that I had done. It was just a battery, but it was just a super coincidence that happened.
Well,
you're confused and wondering, what did I do?
Yeah, you're talking about a battery and jumping it back up. Man, back in the olden days, when we had the 57 Chevy, straight shift, man, you just hold the clutch in, get somebody to push you about 4 or 5 feet, pop the clutch, and you're running, man.
Exactly. And we had generators instead of alternators back then too.
Yeah. So, that was good, man. You could always get your car started.
Yeah.
Unless you forgot to turn the key on. One time I had somebody pushing me and it wouldn't start, and I realized I had my key turned off. So once I turned that key on, it started, Oh, hey guys, I opened the phone line. Call us and let's just talk ham radio tonight. What are you going to talk about? Antennas or nets or anything? You may have some questions for Glenn there on the some of the Arduino or some of the mesh networks, some of the things he's written about. 712-775-7270 is the number. And once you get connected there, you'll have to put the little code in. It's 407051, and then you hit the pound sign. So give us a call and let's get some, let's stir up some excitement here on some other subjects. By the way, while we're waiting here, just remind everybody that our show audio is on an audio podcast, and we're on nearly every podcast carrier that you can find out there. We're on iTunes and Google Play and iNet and and all those things. Apple, we're everywhere out there. So, and we've got a lot of people that send me notes that they actually listen to the show. So every night after the show, I'll take the audio version of this show and we'll post it out there. And we've got people driving across the country each day that are actually just listening to the show there. Also, we've got our own DMR channel. We've got our own DMR talk group, 31693. We haven't used it. So somebody out there is a DMR guru out there. Help us to figure out, let's get some people on this 31693, and I'll start trying to join too. And let's it's for Roundtable, it's for ham radio, but let's try to make it something. So I'm asking for help out there from you guys that know all about DMR. All right, so let me get us back on here, Glenn. All right, so the phone lines are open. I don't see anybody yet, and you guys surely don't want to listen to the music.
No, they should at least let you change that music.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, let me turn it down. I have to now with the music down, I have to keep watching over there to see if somebody called in, and sometimes I miss people.
Yeah.
Okay,
that music will put me to sleep.
So great. We've got the Huntsville Hamfest for right now, still going, man, still going.
Yeah, I
and
think
we got Mark the president or the chairman of the Huntsville Hamfest. Mark's on here, N4 BCD, and he confirmed that it is still on. So, that's a really nice Hamfest to go to. Really nice.
Yeah, I've been going there on and off since like 1984.
Yeah.
And I love it. As a matter of fact, this year I've got a room at the Embassy Suites, which is adjacent to the Hamfest. I'm going over Friday.
Yep.
And in the morning, you just get up, have breakfast, and you walk across the skywalk, and bang, you're in the Hamfest.
It's all connected. You don't even have to get out in the heat, man. You just walk right across. Don't have to move your car. Don't get in the weather. Free breakfast.
And you get the underground parking.
Yep. Free breakfast. It is so cool, man. It's oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, Huntsville's always been one of my favorites, and I just hope they don't cancel it. But we're only here in March, and they're talking about having the economy and everything kick-started by Easter, and the way things are looking, this thing's gonna blow over one way or another. Probably by the 1st of June, mid-May, thereabouts. So I don't see anything after June needing to be canceled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's going to be good. We'll webcast it. If you can't go, we will webcast it, and we love it. We usually go down a day early. We love that place, so I can't wait to get back down there.
Once the Hamfest start up, I've got so much junk that I want to sell that I may have to find me a couple other Hamfests along the way to go to, because I'm just thankful that we made it to Orlando, because they've canceled everything. Dayton, and I was going to do a forum at Union City, and they canceled the Corinth. All the local Hamfests are gone, and I'm like, I got to go to a Hamfest, and there aren't any, and it's I'm dying.
Mm-hmm.
Total withdrawal.
Well, we go down. I like to go down a day early and sneak in a convention center over there, and while the convention center people are setting the booths up, and you kind of buy them a soda pop or something, or lay a $5 bill in their hand, and they'll come help you fix your booth however you want it. New curtains, and they'll move us around for you. So it's kind of neat to be able to sneak in there. Now, hopefully Mark didn't hear me say that, but Mark and Huntsville treat us very well, and we've got a booth right up here next to the stage, and that's really handy, because if I win something, I'm right next to the stage. But
What's this if stuff?
I hadn't
With
really
you,
won. I
with
haven't
you and
really.
Joe Eisenberg, it's when you're going to win, not
I
if you're
haven't
gonna
really
win.
won anything the last couple years there, man. I bought a bunch of
I've
tickets.
heard your name called every year I've been there.
No. Hey, now what? 3 years ago, I did win the Yazoo 991A. I won that.
I remember
But
that.
but you know, I think I paid for that 991 the last 3 or 4 years in the tickets I buy. You know, and you know, it's kind of the same way here in Memphis. Hamfest has been canceled next month.
Right.
But they're still having a drawing. So I bought $100 worth of tickets. I think it's 250 tickets. The same, you know, a lot of the ham places do that, Huntsville and others do that. So I bought that, and I've done that each year for a number of years, and you know, but it goes to a good cause. I was going to say I bought 100 tickets at Hamcation. I did win something down here. I did win something. I won a $19 paperback book. So
Yeah, I remember you had your name was on the list.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, April the 11th, I think afternoon about 2 o'clock, April the 11th, since Memphis is not having their Hamfest, we are going to webcast the drawing for all the prizes that Memphis sold tickets for. And you don't have to be present to win because it's closed, but they're going to have a drawing set up, and we're going to webcast that so the local people around that did buy some tickets, they can watch, and we'll see if we can't maybe pick off a prize or two. It's about time. You know, after about 3 years, you ought to win again, you know.
Yeah, I actually won my first large prize at a ham fest since I become a ham. Last year at Free Fest, I won their drone, and it's one of those autopiloted self-landing drones.
That was nice. You know, the drone would have been nice, although I would have hung it in a tree probably. But you know what I want. What I want to win this year. What I want to win, and I probably don't need it. I've got a generator here at the house, but I'd love to win that Honda. I think they got that Honda, that real quiet generator they always give away, and that's what I'm shooting for this year, the Honda generator.
Yeah, I need to get my. I heard last night that they were still going to do the drawing, so yeah, I need to get my tickets ordered as well.
Yeah, now don't buy too many. That'd bring my chances down, son. I
can't bring your
believe
chances down. Somebody's got to take you off that mountain.
I cannot believe the phone lines have been open for like 10 minutes, guys. You know, I apologize about the show tonight. There's a lot going on in the world here, especially I wasn't sure we were going to if YouTube was going to get us on tonight. We had some issues with YouTube getting on, but we're missing Katie and Dave and Bill tonight. So you know, you're stuck with Glenn and me. And if you like the show going off the rails, any night that Glenn's on, that's the night to tune in. I think we got a call. I see a call over there. Hello.
All right, while you're doing that, we have a question in the chat room from KG7ORH. Nathan, he just upgraded to a general, and he's wondering what kind of antenna he can get for his ICOM 7100.
Oh, man.
And yes, you're correct. Starting with a dipole is going to be your easiest and best way. And as far as above your room, you said about your metal room. See, now I'm in a rubber room, as I should be, but a metal room shouldn't really have any effect with your coax run. Generally, you know, you're going to want to get it up as high as you can, but just about anything, you know, 15, 20 feet up and above is going to do you just fine.
Well, look, hey, maybe he'll call in. Who was that? That was
KG7OR. ORH.
All right.
Nathan.
All right, Nathan, call the show, Nathan. Call that number. Let's talk about it. And you know, I'd like to know what your needs are. In other words, are you in an HOA? Do you have trees? Do you not have trees? You know what? You know, and I guess okay, he's got an HF license, I guess. So we need to talk about it. There's a lot of things you can do. You know, a dipole going to be kind of one band, you can do a fan dipole and get multiple bands. Or, if you want to kind of put a semi-hidden antenna out there, one of the things I tell people, a random wire, and it can be very small wire. It can go through trees, you don't see it. And I would, if you're going to spend some money on an antenna, which I don't really recommend, if you're going to spend money, I'd rather buy an auto tuner, an auto antenna tuner that you can put outside and put a random wire on it. And from inside the house, man, it will tune any band, man, just like that. I mean, you are set. So that's another good way to do it. Hey, who's on the phone?
Good evening, Tom. This is Russ, KG0BK.
Oh, Russ, you hadn't called in a while, man.
Well, been a little bit busy and designing this and that and the other thing. I have a question tonight on battery amperage.
Okay.
And
hey, we've got
another. I've hunted all over.
One second.
Find an answer for sure. What I've got is a receiver that has about 300 milliamps receive, draws about 300 milliamps, and a transmitter that will transmit about 3 amps. What I need to know, this milliamp hour thing is driving me crazy. If I want to run it for 4 hours, is there some kind of a formula to use? Let's say I'm going to transmit 1/4 of the time and receive the rest of the time.
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, what's the million?
How do I figure out what kind of battery amperage I need?
Yeah, what's the rating on a battery? How many amp hours?
I think that's what he's wanting to know.
That's what I'm trying to find out, yeah.
It doesn't say it on the battery? Is it like a little...
What kind of rig do you have that's only pulling 3 amps?
Oh, MicroBitX.
Hey, man, you'll be able to run that thing a week on that battery. Don't worry about it.
If you're talking 3 amps, the way you work it out, a milliamp hour is just 1,000th of an amp. So that's the relationship there. But if you're talking a 3 amp transmit, when you hear a battery with amp hours, that says that it can deliver that many amps over an hour. So that's kind of a cumulative thing. So if it's an 85 amp hour battery, that says that it can feed 1 amp for 85 hours. So if you're dealing with 3 amps in a 85 amp hour battery, you're talking that thing will run continuously for darn near 30 hours without recharging.
But I want to tell you something. I've built the MicroBixes and the BITX. I don't think they're going to pull more than about an amp at the most, and that would be key down CW. If you're on sideband, you're probably going to pull half of an amp, probably 500 milliamps. And if you've got a 7 amp hour battery, that would run you could key down for 14 hours with that.
Well, see, and that's also true, because if you're working sideband or CW or even digital modes like FT8, you're not key down for that entire 30-hour period. You're probably key down for less than 10% of that period. So that even a 7 amp hour battery will last you several days.
All right, hey, did we lose Russ? I see David. David's on the phone. Russ, are you still there?
Yeah, we're here yet.
Okay, is there David there? David, are you there? Hello, David. I see a David on the screen here, but I guess he's not. Well, anyway, you should be able to run many hours. And again, I mean, is this a little battery like 6 or 7 inches long, maybe a couple inches deep, 3 inches tall, or? Well,
I haven't got a battery yet, and I've got a 100-watt rig I wanted to get a battery for too, and I was trying to figure out how to figure out what size of battery to get for all this. So what you're saying, if I want to run for about 4 hours, and I'm going to run 1/4 of the time on transmit, I put in 3 amps at 4 hours, and then 300 milliamps for the rest of the time for receive, and then add those two together, and that should give me how many amp hours I'm going to use in like the 4 hour period. Is that correct?
Pretty much, but when it comes to the receive, I generally don't even include that in the calculations because it's so minimal.
Now, what kind of what radio did you say you were going to put it on?
It was a
the MicroBix, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a FT450D that I want to put in as a mobile also, which is going to take a lot bigger battery. But I didn't know what size of batteries to get. I didn't want to overdo it, but I didn't want to underdo it either.
Well, see, the 450D is a different critter because that thing's going to pull 20 amps when it's key down.
Well, on sideband, it might pull 10 or 12.
No, it pulls 20 because I got one of my Go Box.
20?
20, but that's like a 50% duty cycle because of the
Well,
sideband.
okay.
But
50%, that's right.
It's pulling 20 amps.
Yeah, at about 50%.
So you need to figure, again, do that calculations, and I think the number he came with was, use a quarter of the full current draw because you're not going to be you're not even going to be transmitting 25% of the time unless you're in a contest.
And another thing, Russ, don't get a lead acid battery like a car battery. You want something like a deep cycle battery or something. It'll run you a lot longer, and you'll be able to charge it back up many more times.
Oh yeah, well I was thinking like the Bio-Eno or something because I want to add a solar pack here later, but I want to know what size to even start with. So
a standard deep cycle marine type battery. Let's put it this way: when I'm working a contest such as Field Day, I am literally key down at least 50% of the time, and I have not been able to run a deep cycle marine battery down in the 24 hours of Field Day. We've come close, so I mean, one big marine type deep cycle battery will last you for pretty much any event that you want to play with.
Oh, all right. Well, that'll help a lot then. I thought maybe there was some kind of a formula you had to figure out. I know the microminutes won't take a lot, but if I get the big one, I can use either rig on it then and not have to worry about it and just buy the one battery, I guess.
But with the microminutes, you can get away with one of those little 7 amp hour gel cell types that you can get online for like $20 or they're about $16, and that'll let you work easily all day or even several days without any issues at all.
Hey Russ, what area code are you in?
That's probably small enough too. I could fit it right in the microminutes case. So with a little handle on it, I'm ready to go. Throw up a wire and bingo, bango, bongo. That really helps. I thank you.
Hey Russ,
no
what's your area code?
712.
Okay, I don't even show you on the phone system. I'm showing a David Kahn on here at a 663 number. You're not even showing up at all. Huh,
no, I'm sharing a line with him.
Okay, I got you.
Well, see,
okay.
That other number, that's just a guy waiting to talk to you about your vehicle's expired warranty.
Yeah, I get those all the time. Man. All right, man.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. I'll get out of your hair, and thanks for helping me. I think I'm in the right direction now, because this virus or not, I'm going to get out in the country somewhere as soon as it warms up some and get on the air. Hopefully, maybe a park or two.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, man. Hey, thanks for calling.
Thanks, Tom.
Good to hear you.
Glenn.
Good to hear you again, man.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right. Well, that confused me. I thought somebody was doing something here. Uh-oh. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing. A lot of the new hams have issues, and I think that's one of the big reasons that ARRL started up that new magazine on the air for the new hams.
Yeah.
And I really think that's going to be a lot of help, because I get those questions a lot from all of the new folks is, what type of antenna, how do I do it, how do I hang it, and, it's, everybody's always overthinking this. It's, I need to get a beam, I need to get a $2,000 radio and whatnot. I'm like, no, anything that works is fine. Save some money, start out with a used rig, see what you like, and then go forward.
All right, who we got on the phone? Let me turn you up here. Who's on the phone?
This is Nathan, KG7ORH here in Idaho.
There you go. That's the gentleman that had
That's the guy. There he is, man. Hey, man, congratulations on upgrading, man. Hey, so tell me about your operation here. First floor, second floor, you got a big yard, small yard, you got trees. Tell us all about it, man.
Well, I have an acre out here in the country here in Idaho, and I got some plenty mature trees around me. I got a metal roof instead of room.
Okay.
It was supposed to be roof.
Okay.
And so I pretty much recently inherited all this whole setup from my father-in-law, who just recently passed away. But so we're getting this all set up and getting my kids interested in it. And so I have the ICOM 7100. I have he had two different auto tuners, or the LDG Electronics IT100 and an MFJ 9049E. So I have a tuner. So I'm just trying to figure out what kind of antenna to get next and where to start with, because I don't even know what bands still. I'm still learning what bands are active and what's good to get on.
Yeah, so you got a lot of options, man, and I wouldn't go out and spend a lot of money and buy an antenna when you can make an antenna. And it doesn't have to be what we call antenna wire. I don't think there's any such thing as antenna wire, to tell you the truth. If you got any kind of wire.
Well,
know.
there's actually some new stuff that we'll talk about in a minute, but yeah. Any kind of wire will do. Even the insulated stuff is fine.
Let me tell you, a great antenna to use is a full wave loop or a delta loop. I run that here, and man, I get excellent results from it. And for instance, I don't know what bands, but if you'll cut the delta loop for the lowest band, in other words, if you cut it for 80 meters and you make it a full wave on 80 meters, that antenna will work on 80 and 40 and 20 and on down. And you don't even have to have a tuner with it. I've got a 40 meter delta loop out there, and I feed it. It's a full wave on 40 meters is about 130 feet long, and it's in a triangle configuration, and I'm feeding it with a 4-to-1 balun and coax into the house, and just tune that wire till you get your lowest SWR, and you won't even have to tune that thing, believe me. And that's a great antenna. You can put dipoles up. Dipoles are real easy to make, but you're going to be limited to like one band with a truly resonant dipole. You can.
Yeah, but the tuner, particularly an LDG, will tune just about anything he hangs.
Yeah.
So that'll get around that.
So that's what I was talking about with a tuner earlier. You know, a lot of people had like G5RV and stuff. There's nothing special about a G5RV. That's not even a resonant antenna. It's just a 100-foot piece of wire pair fed in the center with some open lead, and you have to use a tuner to tune it. Well, you can use a tuner to tune any piece of wire to any band, so there's nothing real fancy about that. So, you know, if you got a little money, you can put out a couple $300 on an antenna tuner. I would get an auto remote antenna tuner.
He's already got two of them.
He's got what?
He's already got two. He's got an MFJ and an LDG.
Oh, he does? Okay. Well, man,
I just need the antenna. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, man, hey.
You're
I'm
set.
new to electronics.
Yeah.
So electronics is foreign to me. I'm a firefighter. I'm a paramedic,
Okay.
so I can do that. But
Now,
electronics
the
is all
one
brand new to me.
good thing about doing the loop over a dipole is the loops are traditionally lower noise, so you'll have a lot less static to deal with the loop versus a dipole.
And look, you can put that loop in a couple different configurations. First of all, a full wave loop, it can be in a square, it can be in an octagon, it can be in a what you call a delta loop, it can be in a triangle, just as long as you've got a full wave out there. Right. So get you a full wave piece of wire out there. And if you've got, to make things very simple, if you've got that tuner, put that tuner right on the two ends of the loop antenna, and I guarantee you it will tune any band, and those are auto tuners, and it's great to put it out at the antenna. You really don't want to put the tuner inside and tune your coax that goes all the way out somewhere.
You kind of have to with some of these, though.
Yeah. So like I've got out to my antenna farm, all my coax is underground, and I sure don't want to tune my underground coax. But anyway.
Yeah, but really,
Yeah.
these tuners, they really need to be indoors because they are not weatherproofed and stuff.
I've got an MFJ 1.5 KW outside tuner. You can buy both the inside or outside. It
Yeah,
works
you can
fine.
buy the outside.
But what I did, I just took one of these plastic tubs like you buy at Walmart or somewhere, and right there at the base of my antenna farm, I've got a ground rod and some buried radials for my ground system. I got the tuner there, and I take that plastic box, and I just set that plastic box over that stuff, and it keeps it out of the rain and out of the weather. And then from there, I actually use I use that on my extended double ZEP. I don't recommend trying to do that. There's no need to for you, but I use from the tuner open line. It goes up about 80 feet to a 172-foot extended double ZEP. But hey, a dipole, a loop, anything you've got with that auto tuner, it'll work great. And guess what? You don't even have to make it. You don't even have to make it a certain length. With that auto tuner, if you can find 72.1 feet of wire, stretch it out, hook it to that auto tuner, and most likely it will tune nearly every band pretty close to perfect.
Yeah, that's one of the big advantages of the loop is they tune very well on all the other bands.
So if you got an acre, you got trees, you're doing really good. And like the Delta loop, I've got mine standing up actually. My 40-meter Delta loop is standing up. It's the triangle. The point is aimed down at the bottom. It's about 20 feet off the ground, coax going up to it. And then the top of the triangle is just held by a couple ropes up real high in the trees. So my Delta loop is actually just standing vertically. And that will give you a radiation pattern east and west because my Delta loop's running north and south. So, man, just get something in the air. With that auto tuner, it won't make a lot of difference.
No, there's actually a group that runs a little sort of contest on how far you can talk using a light bulb as an antenna.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I tell you, I think they're using FT8 on that light bulb and doing like 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So literally, and a lot of people are obsessing over SWR and whatnot, and until you get above 3-to-1, the loss is not significant. Yes, you should try to do better, but it's not going to kill you. And the bigger issue is protecting the feedback into the power being fed back into the transmitter and blowing it up, which is why most of them stop at 3-to-1. But we obsess over 2-to-1 SWR versus 1.5-to-1, and you are talking about maybe a 0.5% increase in signal, and you yourself will never notice that at all.
It was mentioned in the chat room a fan dipole. Now, fan dipoles are okay. I've got a fan dipole or a fan inverted V out, which has 80, 40, and 20 on it. And I make them resonant. I cut the 20 and the 40 and the 80 resonant links so I can switch on my radio without needing a tuner. The problem with a fan dipole is very difficult to tune. If you try to make it a 5-band folded dipole, all those legs interact with each other. And there was a college, and we've done some shows on it, where they did a study on that. And at the feed point, that fan dipole, those lines need to be, each leg needs to be, I think, at least 6 inches apart to even tune this. And then out at the ends, they need to be, I think, 37 inches or something. But it's very difficult. Even separating it like the college paper showed, I could not really get 5 bands to work on there. When I cut it back to 3, it was pretty reasonable to be able to tune it and get them all in resonance.
Yeah. Now what I've done, if you have limited space, which of course with an acre you don't, but others might, I got me an MFJ cobweb antenna about 2 years ago. and that does 40 through 6 meters.
Yeah.
And it's very small footprint, and it's nothing more than a series of basically a folded fan dipole.
Yeah, and we built one of those on the show. We built one on the
Right.
show, and it was a neat project. I actually gave it away last year to some ham I saw on the street out here, and I said, "Hey, you want a cobweb?" And, yeah, I'll take it. So we threw it on his car, and it was gone. But that has a very low impedance. I think the cobweb antenna at the feed point, it has a 12.5 ohm impedance. So you don't need a 4-to-1 balun, you need a 1-to-4, to match that thing. But we had the plans on building the matching device and everything. It worked pretty good. Again, it was a little critical to tune all those bands, just like a fan dipole.
Yeah.
Some tuned really well, and then some didn't tune so well.
Right. And that's where we get back to that discussion I was talking about with the antenna wire. I have mine under some pine trees, and needless to say, those trees shed limbs and tend to break the wires on it. And what I ran across, and I picked up a spool of this shortly after the Orlando Ham Fest, and of course it's been wet and raining and can't go outside to fix it. But there is some, it's called Flex Weave, and it's made by Davis RF. And that is some really nice, strong, all copper wire for antennas, and it looks really nice. It looks rugged, and I think it's going to do a really nice job.
Mm-hmm. Well,
My
many.
biggest problem is waiting for the snow to go away.
Amen.
Yeah.
We've had 3 foot of snow in our yard.
Well, look, us hams are pretty cheap. We're cheap when it comes to ham radio most of the time, and if you can find any kind of wire, just use it. Don't Don't go off and order expensive antenna wire. I've used basically solid like number 12 wire for antennas in just about my 56 years of ham radio. And people say, well, it'll stretch and it'll do this and it'll do that. But believe me, the stretching is not going to be that big a problem, really. I mean, after a number of years up, something's going to go wrong with the antenna. You're going to have to go out there and readjust it anyway. So if it stretches, just cut a couple inches off of it,
Yeah, one of my first antennas was actually a 2-meter home-built antenna built on a 1x2 piece of wood for a boom, and the elements were cut off coat hangers tuned to the frequency, and it was like a 7-element beam that I built that way.
That's a cool antenna, and yeah, hey, a piece of wood and coat hangers, that's a Yagi. Hey, my first 2-meter antenna, my first 2-meter rig was a Motorola taxi cab radio. Weighed about 25 pounds, had tubes in it, a big speaker in the front. I had 2 channels in there, and I had the Memphis repeater and I had a direct on there. But my first 2-meter antenna, this is like 1969 or 70, it was in the handbook, and it may still be if you go back and look. You take a sardine can, and you mount an SO239 in the top of the can. Then you take a PL259 to screw on there, and you have a 19-inch whip in there. And then you take about a 7-inch square piece of like copper, and you solder that sardine can on top of that copper piece, and you lay it on top of your car. And you can actually run some tape down the sides, to hold it on your car. And that makes the capacitance coupling, just like the magnetic antennas that everybody's used for years now. But my first 2-meter antenna was made out of a sardine can.
Yeah. Yeah, my first 2-meter rig was an old General Electric pre-progress line commercial rig. And yeah, it had I only had one frequency, one set of crystals.
Yeah.
And I had that running around in the car, and I had a 12 volt to 110 volt inverter to power the thing because I didn't have the portable vibrator supply that they would use to power those things.
All right. Well, Nathan, you're still on here. Nathan, so are you into VHF?
Yes,
Nathan, are you into VHF, UHF, or mostly HF?
Well, I've never gone into HF yet. This is I just barely passed like not even a month ago.
Okay.
But I've got a Yaesu FT 2900, just a 2-meter, and I check into my local Aries nets and stuff, and that's about my extent so far.
Yeah,
I've
and
got a J-pole
of
up.
course, when you got that, you probably got some antennas with it, so that's cool. It's easy to make a little quarter wave ground plane. Just stick it up on the roof, and it'll work great. Build it for nothing.
Yeah, that's my thing is I have to learn how to do that stuff because I've never been in electronics at all before. I'm still learning what even all the parts mean.
Well, you're at the right place. We can talk you through it, man. It is simple.
Yeah, it's not very
really
hard at all.
simple, man, to build those things. And before long, you'll be a pro there.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like that old guy, even though I'm only 40, because my kids are starting to get smarter than me. Because he's in an electronics class in high school, which is taught by one of our local amateur extras, and this kid is learning so much more than me. I'm like, well, you're not supposed to pass me up. I'm supposed to know this stuff.
Well,
I'm gonna have him help me.
Is he interested in ham radio?
Yeah, he was going to take his technician test with me when I took my general, but he was out of town on another activity, and of course, right now nobody's testing, so he's got to wait.
Yeah. Well, have him keep going. Don't stop at the tech.
Yeah, he's 16, and then my other son that just turned 12, he lays down and listens to the 2-meter every night, and listens to the intermountain intertie that runs up I-15 between Idaho and Utah and Nevada. He listens to that every night, and that's what puts him to sleep. So we like it in the family.
You wait until you start getting your first DX on HF. That you'll never be able to pull them off the radio after that.
And there's DX you can work. There's DX you can work now. Sunspots aren't cooperating very well, but there's still times of the day that the bands open up and you'll make some contacts. But man, I can remember years where the DX is it's everywhere, man. And it won't be many more years until the bands open back up, and you'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, now that's also, I want to say I saw this a week or 2 or 3 ago, that they have officially announced that we are past the bottom of this sunspot cycle. We're now on the upswing.
Well, that's good. It'll be getting better than every day.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to Ham Radio.
Because I'm at work. I'm one of those essential guys at the fire station tonight. So.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Well, be safe.
Hey Nathan, where were you?
it.
Where are you located? Where are you?
I'm in Rexburg, Idaho.
Idaho. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Idaho. Is that a large city, small city, volunteer fire?
No, it's a small town. I work in Idaho Falls, which is the second largest town in Idaho, which really isn't saying much.
Yeah. Well, I grew up.
Just right up.
Hey, I grew up with, of course, my dad was a volunteer fire chief in my little town of 1,000 people, and he was for many, many years. And I remember one time, back when I first got my license, the fire department actually came over and put a beam up for me. That was one of their drills one night. So maybe
one of the fire chiefs that's getting ready to retire in the town that I actually live in, because I work in a different town than where I live. He's one of our ham radio operators, and so
yeah.
There's not too many people that do it in this job out here, so that's one of my interests is emergency communication.
Yeah.
And so it's been getting into the hobby for a while.
All right, man. Well, look, hey, welcome to Ham Radio, and glad you got that general, and you upgraded there, and keep watching the show. Call in and let us know how things are going.
All right. Appreciate your time.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Bye-bye.
All right.
That's what I hope so. I got to have something to do when I retire.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
All right.
I wish I could retire. I've still got several years to go before they'll let me retire.
Several years. Aren't you like about 80 already? I mean, when are you going to retire, man?
No, I can't retire for at least another 5-6 years.
Is that right? Okay. Well, well, that shows I'm the old guy. I've been retired for almost 7 years now. Can't believe it, man. Can't believe it. All right.
It was kind of funny when I went through the surgery. I kept saying, just put me out in the pasture. I'll be fine. And they're like, oh no, you're not getting away that easy.
Yeah.
So they put me right back to work.
Now, we got an old-timer Ron here and there. He's been a ham 54 years, age 67. Boy, let's see, 54, 67. Boy, he must have got his license about age 4, man.
Yeah.
Look
I've
at
been
that,
a ham like 40, probably about 40, let's see, about 47 years now.
Yeah. Hey, I worked Ron on the net tonight. Hey, Ron, glad you checked in tonight. Guys, don't forget about our 40-meter net on Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Central on 7180. And hey, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, join our Facebook group. It's called W5KUB. We've got we got almost 9,000, about 9,000 hams in that group. And a lot of times when I get on in the afternoon, and you can do the same thing, just post a note. Hey, I'm on 7180. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. Let's get together on HF. And a lot of people see that, and you'll get the gang together. So that's what I like to do. Well, we're not getting any other callers, so we only had a couple people that were brave enough to call in tonight, Glenn.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of a slow night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let them be homebound for a few more weeks, and they start getting cabin fever. They'll call.
Yeah, I talked to a guy on the net tonight. He was in a cabin all by himself. And I said, well, boy, watch your show tonight. He says, man, I don't have internet. I don't have anything here but the radio.
No, I'm starting to get cabin fever, but I've got so much going on that I just really don't have the time to slow down right now.
Yeah.
But hopefully that will change and I can start relaxing when I'm doing this work from home stuff. But that's not going to happen for a while.
Well, all right. I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and shut the show down. Guys, we apologize. We didn't have a bunch. Well, we had some stuff for tonight, but it didn't come together tonight. And sometimes that happens. But that's why we invited Glenn. We knew if we didn't have anything special going, Glenn could pave the way here. And
I can dig something up, and we'll
could
get lost on some track.
He could dig something up here, man. All right. So we'll say good night to everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm going to go get something to eat, maybe some popcorn, maybe watch a little TV.
Yeah, I got the other half of that peanut butter sandwich.
Boy, I tell you, stores don't have peanut butter. I'm going to be in trouble here pretty soon.
No kidding. I got lucky and restocked on a lot of that stuff just on my routine shopping about 2 weeks before the craziness hit.
Oh, man. Well. So
I'm well stocked for the next month or so.
I tell you, my wife, I eat Peter Pan creamy. That's what I eat. And, my wife, she had to bring home a jar of Skippy the other night. So you can tell things are getting bad when, I'm going to have to go to Skippy here probably for a few weeks.
But what I found out, I'm now diabetic and on these, special diets and stuff. And none of the food that is approved for my diet was off the shelves. It was all there. I could get pretty much anything I wanted. I guess nobody wants to buy cardboard and stuff to eat yet. They're not that desperate. Peanut butter's gone, rice is gone, bread's gone, the meats are gone, but the whole wheat type breads, they're there. The wild rices, they're there. All of that stuff is still on the shelves and never were emptied.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see how it goes. I think things are going to start easing up here in a few weeks. So,
oh, yeah.
Hey, I'll make it, I went to that survival school in the military, and man, I've eaten C rations, and boy, if I could just order, I bet you. Well, there may be a run on C rations, Glenn, but you know, in they don't have C rations anymore. They got meals ready to eat and all that. So there may be a stock of old C rations somewhere. Now let me tell you, in every can of C rations, in every box of C rations, there was a little flat can. It had 4 round crackers in it, and peanut butter in it. And that was one of my favorite out of the C rations. You got that. Oh, another thing too, man. You can't buy toilet paper anywhere. The stores are all out, right? Let me tell you, C rations, you get 4 sheets of toilet paper with every C ration box, and you get 4 cigarettes. They're either Chesterfield or what was the other? Camels or Chesterfield, I think. That's what we used to get, man.
Yeah. No, it's truly amazing. You know, like I say, for me, I haven't had any problem finding food and supplies and everything. And fortunately, I got real lucky and bought a 12-pack of the toilet paper before the madness hit. So, you know, hopefully they'll be restocked by the time I need to restock. But for right now, I'm good on everything.
Yep. Well, Jim there says, don't forget the P38 can opener. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, if I can't find my P38, I'll just take an axe and chop the top of the can off. Or, you know, we'll make it. That won't be a problem.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you know, they're making this out, I think, to be worse than it really is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the biggest thing is, you know, use your head and be safe. You know, it's not you that you're so much worried about, because if you're going to be out and about with the crowds, you obviously don't care whether you get it or not. But the fact that you're going to infect 10 to 100 other people, and, you know, do you really want that on your head? So I'm like, nope, I'm staying home.
Yeah.
I don't think I've left my yard in 6 days, and that was just to go get a prescription filled.
All right, guys.
So.
It's time to say goodnight. I'm looking forward to our balloon launch. Hopefully the weather's going to clear up. I'll be testing it tomorrow, and hopefully by maybe Saturday we'll get the balloon in the air, and then the excitement begins, man.
It's supposed to be sunny for the next 3 days.
We'll say 73 to everybody out there. Thanks a lot for joining the show tonight, and we had fun tonight. 73, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question.
I swear I'm going to put some tin foil on one of my
Yeah,
cat's
you need to
heads.
do that. You need to do that.
There's the answer.
Well, I'd probably bleed to death if I tried it.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
I keep wanting to catch you at one of the balloon launches, but like I say, I am not going out in public unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah. All right, let me close this thing down here. Let's see. Should I use the test patterns that you and I are used to, man? Do we want to use that one tonight?
Gosh, yeah. Oh, I love that.
I want to use that one tonight,
brings
man.
back such memories.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
as a kid, you know, TV didn't start in the morning until like 6 a.m.
What?
You know, they played the national anthem. No, they played that when they closed.
Yeah, you know, every night at midnight, this sucker would pop up on my 3 channels, you know, when I was growing up.
Oh, my God. When we got that 4th independent channel, we were in high cotton. You know,
I
we could
remember
watch
that,
Gilligan's
man.
Island and stuff every day.
I remember that. PBS, I think it was a PBS channel that came on, Channel 24
Yeah,
here.
we had PBS. I was down in Miami.
Oh,
And
yeah,
we had
okay.
3 networks, PBS. We could also get the PBS station out of West Palm, and then we got the independent, and then they put up another independent on UHF. And boy, we were in high cotton.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to have to kill the broadcast.